Hello everyone and welcome to Holly's Business Pharmacy, brought to you by Dell Technologies, and it's a time for me to try and help you all with your small businesses, with your dreams, whatever you're feeling as a founder. The Business Pharmacy is here to support you. What a day, hey? What a day this is, and what a week it has been for us all. This is the Business Pharmacy. It's brought to you by Dell Technologies. Dell are wonderful partners who truly care. And you know, I always say this, they really care. So I always just adjust my headband as I sort of go live, try and make sure my glasses aren't wonky before I try and help you all with your small businesses. But they truly care about you, yourselves, the efficiency of your businesses. And that's what this live is all about. It is about managing your time and being more productive. Now, please invite anybody who you think could do with being more productive. Now, you could say, Holly, I do not need to be more productive. What I do need is a freaking break. But actually, bizarrely, by being more productive, you will have the ability to, I've just got, God, someone tell me about some great glasses place, okay? All my glasses, I've slept on them, I've sat on them. I need a small business that does phenomenal frames, okay? So if anyone could tell me about that, that would be absolutely brilliant. So today we're going to be learning about productivity. Productivity coach Karen, founder of Go Do, is going to be joining us. And basically we're going to talk about getting more out of our days. We're going to learn 5 management hacks, okay? We're going to become super efficient. And actually, what is a productivity coach? And obviously, any of you could go and use her after this as well. We're going to be demystifying, firstly, though, some of the news that's literally just come out. So should we do that first? Hashtag small business energy crisis. We've been running SME SOS, haven't we? The energy costs, our business energy costs are going to be capped for 6 months. These include business charities. If you've just heard, our domestic bills are going to be capped for 2 years at, I think it's 2,500. Yes, 2,500. 2,500. So we haven't got that same cap. So it's not as if they've just said businesses are going to be capped at this, because you can imagine that's actually going to be very difficult to do for businesses, large and small. So businesses will see their energy costs capped at the same price per unit that households will pay under the government's new plans. The scheme will run for 6 months. They're going to review it after 3 months. What we hope is that they've managed to now look at the details. Just think about how complicated this actually is. They're going to look at the details probably then, won't they? And they'll look at it maybe by industry. That's probably why they've said it's going to be for 6 months, and then we are going to have 3 months as a chance for them to really look at everything. And it's going to be extended for vulnerable businesses in the hospitality sector. So if you saw the SME SOS yesterday, we spoke to an independent pub landlord who basically said that their energy costs have gone from £1,000 to £7,000 a month. That will mean that they would have to shut. So I pray for that individual case and for all the cases that it was specifically mentioned pubs, our spirits and our pubs. We definitely want them to survive, don't we? So specifically pubs were mentioned. So that is hot off the press, everybody. Remember, this is the Business Pharmacy, and we are talking today about productivity, right? So I would love, I'm going to read out some comments first. Penny Street Collectibles, we're all in a panic. Debs, thank you so much for this, Holly. You're keeping us going big time. The 5 strong headband game today, Holly. Thank you. Thanks for doing this. It's so helpful. Calm lettering. Love how you truly care about small businesses, just as we care about you. Don't set me off today. I've been in tears quite a lot today, so that's a whole other story. Glasses recommendation. Hannah Martin Flowers. Goodlookers.com. Holy, I'm thinking you mean Holly. That's on our side. Uniquely Yours Jewelry. I was just listening to your podcast. Wow, it's brilliant. Where have I been? Oh, well, thank you very much. So listen, you are not going to believe this. You know how I love a good old sexy stat. People tend to waste. Okay, guess. Okay, I'm not going to tell you the answer. I would like you to guess. How many days a year do you think we waste, okay, on menial, repetitive tasks? It's under 100, right? So give me your answer. How many days, now think about this, how many days do you think you waste a year on menial, repetitive tasks? Holly&Co team, don't worry about writing these in. I'm going to read them out from the screen. So let me know your answers there, because it's crazy. Oh, we've got 99 here from Beta Lottie. Let's have a look. 15, Popsy Clunk says. It's more than 15. The Paper Collective, 60. We've got 74 days, 99 days. Frank, how many days, Frank, do you waste? 34, that's very specific. We've got Crafty Cats, 99 plus 1. Tiger Lily Jewelry, 44. Tropic by Kirk, we've got 80. Right, come on, keep going. Let's think about this. Blossom and Ivy, 68. 124, it's below 100. Wouldn't you love one? 200. What you spend out of your 365 days, 200. It is 50 days. I waste 362. It is 50. Oh no, Frank says 0. I'm very productive. Thanks, Frank. Yeah, you are a beacon of productivity. We actually waste 50 days, everybody, a year doing menial and repetitive tasks. We check our emails on average. This has blown my mind, 121 times a day. Now, if you think about that, what day do you think is the least productive? Friday. And then if you do break a task, so you're doing a task and then you break it, how long do you think it takes you to refocus? The answer is 25 minutes. So if you think that you've checked your email 21 times a day on average, but it takes you 25 minutes to refocus, think about that. Think about that wasted time. And we have no time to waste. You know, we talk about our wellness and our mental health and how we've got to keep that founder brain going. We say we don't have any time. We say we don't have maybe any time to get on top of the energy crisis and what we're paying in our bills because we're all go. We have all the emotional labor, all the stuff that we deal with. If the majority of everybody here is a female, you understand what I'm talking about there. And then we waste 50 days, 121 times we check our emails and 25 minutes between what takes us to get back to the task, which I just cannot imagine. Well, I can imagine. So what do we do about this? And if anyone knows me, I am addicted to efficiency. I think that actually it comes with the territory. If you have a household, you have a business, you have yourself, these can be full-time jobs. So actually the whole thing is that we need to be more efficient with our time. Yorkshire Magpie, productivity is severely impacted by high stress levels. Absolutely. Coach Kate, remember the front of our brains, that's where the stress is, and it basically fogs our ability to look at things in a calculated way, create solutions. Stress stops those things happening. 101 vintage, surprised it's under 100 to be fair. Well, I think it depends on different people. For Frank, it's 0, right? So, you just don't know. Cornell, you're watching. Oh my goodness, our lovely Cornell. Cornell was our manager at our coffee shop before he went big time, and he's gone into a career of interior design, and we're so proud of him. Lovely Cornell's watching. Scrappy Doodles UK. Oh no, I was going to say 50, but my hands were so busy doing menial tasks. You make me laugh. Tiny Sunshine Shop, you need to look at the book Stolen Focus by Joanne Harry, I haven't got the end of it. Just Google Stolen Focus, everyone. Kylie Felkus, 25 minutes longer if you add ADHD. I bet it is. Tiny Sunshine Shop, the average adult stays on a specific task for something like, oh my God, this is depressing, 3 minutes before being distracted. That is definitely, I'm going to talk about that because I want Karen to talk about that. Because of course, we've got this frigging device right here that is, if our emails are quite old fashioned, what about every single blinking notification we're getting as well? Vila Mays, when my sales are low, I fall into a massive slump and can't get myself out of it. When I need to be more productive, I'm the least. Gosh, Karen, can you answer that one as well? When I need to be the most productive, I am the least. It's a little bit like, things like, I'm not going to have a drink this week. And then you end up maybe having a tipple more often than you normally would. Or I'm definitely going to eat healthily this week. And then somehow you find yourself eating a piece of chocolate or 10 every single day. Is that something to do with the mind at the moment? Not the moment, every day. Sparkle's Eco Shop, I get distracted so easily, especially if it's a boring spreadsheet. We need to love our spreadsheets, everybody, but I get you. I do get you. And I always find in my spreadsheets, colour them in, call them something different. For many, many years, Holly&co's P&L was called the Willy Wonka, right? Because it was actually someone called Will who used to fill in the numbers. And then I used to think it was, you look at the Willy Wonka rather than the P&L. And everything, Fiona, who helps us with all things finance, I'm very particular about the colours that we use, right? And it has to be just right. And the blend of colours, okay? So spreadsheets, you can do what you want to do with them. Just one swap. Sometimes it's hard to look forward when I wonder if I can pay this month's wages and rent. It's why we've got SME SOS, everybody. It's why we do. Wouldn't you love one? I try to take breaks in between making and on the laptop, and then it takes a while to refocus again. Completely. Let's go in. Keep your comments coming, everybody. We're going to now talk to an expert. Here we go. This is a funny one. This is Coach Kate. The Green Door Project. No, I never drink when I've said I'm not going to. And definitely, she's basically maybe saying what we would all say. I never drink when I said I'm not going to. And I definitely don't raid the kids' Easter egg collection when I'm not eating chocolate. Nope, not me ever. That's a big Holly wink there. That was just a thing I should refrain from doing. Right, we are going to head over to Karen, and my goodness, I feel like we do need this help, don't we, everybody? If we are losing 50 days, it's actually crazy. And 3 minutes focus, insane. And I worry about our young. If ours is 3 minutes, what's Harry's going to be? Hello.
Hi Holly, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Great being here.
Well, we need you, by the way, it sounds like. My goodness me. You just heard me talking to the community. Tell us about yourself first and what got you in to being a productivity coach. I mean, for someone who is obsessed with efficiency, you are, this is going to really scratch my itch.
Well, thanks for having me, Holly. So I'm Karen White. I'm a productivity expert and a productivity coach, and I do workshops and training all on this topic. And I run a business called Go Do. We help professionals, small business owners, founders who are feeling overwhelmed, and we help them to thrive at work and at home. And really what I'm all about is helping to enjoy work, to build successful businesses, successful careers, but also have time for life outside of that as well, because many of us have got families, we've got lives that we want to live, we don't want to be working 24/7. So lots of people don't know what productivity coach is. I get lots of sort of shocked looks when I say that this is a thing that exists. So a productivity coach is someone that helps you to kind of work through all of the issues that come up when you're trying to work hard, get things done, make progress, balance work and life, because these are all really hard things to do. And I work with people there are 3 things that I think we all sort of need to be able to do to put ourselves in the best possible place. And I work with people on, firstly, helping you to work out what's most important. So of all the things that you could do, what are you going to do? Secondly, how to actually knuckle down and focus and get that work done. And some fascinating stats there about distractibility and procrastination. Yeah. Stuff. Amazing. And then thirdly, I help people to put in place sort of good sort of systems and habits that help them to keep things in control.
Yes.
Yeah. And I got into this, I had a career in the civil service. So I worked in the civil service for about 11 years, and I was chief executive safety regulator at the end of that. So lots of experience in busy jobs, and feeling, lots of experience in high workloads, feeling overwhelmed. And when I had my daughter 4 years ago, I decided to pivot and to use some of that experience to help other people.
Oh my goodness, this sounds fantastic. Tell me, where do we really actually start? Let's get into firstly, I want to ask a question. We were just looking at those stats, the 50 days that we lose, the 3 minutes attention span, the 25 minutes to get back into a task. Would you say that these are right? That is actually one of the issues of not just planning. We're going to get into your top 5 tips for productivity. But do you think that actually we also have a sort of state of play where our brains have been triggered to want more, to do more, and then not spend as much time on it?
I think that's right, and I think the situation is getting worse. We live in a world now where there is so much to distract us, and there are so many that comes with so many exciting possibilities as well.
Yeah.
Challenge is, how do we make the most of the possibilities without getting totally overwhelmed with everything that we could do, and all of the messages and the emails and the pace of working life? I think it's a real challenge. So I've got no doubt that they're true, and I think it's really hard to succeed in that environment.
Yeah. Tell me, let's get right into it. You have 5 productivity tips. And I can imagine so many people, by the way, are going to contact you after this anyway, but we'll start with 5 that we can all, and I've got my whole team listening as well, because they know I'm obsessed with it. We are all very, very, very busy women here, and we definitely need your help. So let's start with your top 5.
Yes, fine, cool. Well, I think the first place to start is always to do a bit of stepping back and zooming out. And I think this can be really hard, particularly in the current context, as you've been talking about all of the challenges for businesses at the moment. It's so hard to focus at the moment, I think. But actually, if we can start to take some control over the things that we can control, I do think it can help. So my first tip is about sort of zooming out, stepping back, working out of, often when people come to me, they're trying to do too much. They're trying to do a million different things, because this is the great thing about running your own business, being a founder, all of these options and possibilities, but we can't do them all at once. We have to make some choices at a slightly more strategic level about what we want to achieve. And a good way to do this is to ask yourself the question, what is it that I'm trying to achieve? What am I trying to create? What do I want the business to look like? What do I want my life to look like?
Yeah.
To ask yourself some of those questions. Find a way to give yourself the headspace to be able to engage with those questions and make some strategic decisions about what it is that you want to prioritize.
And we call it here, Karen, we call it standing with our coach Kate on the balcony. So we need to stand on the balcony, and we need to look down, not in from the crowd underneath. We need to look down on what is it that we're trying to achieve. And I think I often do it actually, where I come out and I know I'm in the weeds. I can feel it, I'm in the weeds, and I step back and I say, this week I have got to do 4 very important things, if anything else, right? And there's no way. So I think we don't tend to do it because we do get stuck in the weeds, especially if we're the person that's doing everything. So what's your second tip?
So my second tip is about how we make use of the 24 hours that we've all got, because we all have 24 hours, but I don't think all of those 24 hours are equal. I think what we need to do is to work out when in those hours we're at our absolute best. When are we most likely to be able to concentrate and to focus and to do what we call deep work? Have you heard of deep work, Holly?
No.
So this is a book called Deep Work, was written by someone called Cal Newport, and he makes this distinction, which I think is very true, between deep work, which is work that we need to focus on. It requires concentration. It's the real driver of our business. This is the really important tasks. And then shallow work, which is basically everything else. This is, shallow work is you're replying to emails, replying to social media messages, all stuff that needs
maybe having meetings could be shallow work. Absolutely. When you're with people discussing, brainstorming, all that sort of stuff is a shallow work. I love that distinction, by the way. Deep work. So we just had a Monday morning meeting Oh, it's not Monday, is it? It's Wednesday. But is it Wednesday? It's Thursday. But anyway, we just had our Thursday morning meeting, and we were just saying how potentially we have a working from home policy, that we're open to anything, how people work. And I was like, maybe the stuff you've got to concentrate on, that's where you're going to be at home. But there's a lot of stuff going on at the moment, which actually we now know is called shallow work, where we need to be together a bit more. So it's looking at the two types of work that you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Two types of, they both need doing, but it helps to separate them, because this deep work, in order to happen well, needs concentrated time, often needs quiet. People do this work at different times of day. It's very common for the morning to be a good time to carve yourself out a good hour and a half, 2 hours, knuckle down on those tasks that require that concentration.
Got you. Brilliant. Third tip
is about planning. So as you would guess, I like a bit of planning. So we've talked about the 3-month planning. We've talked about this idea of zooming out, and I think that should happen about once every 3 months. This real strategic look at what do you want to do. But I also think that we need to do some weekly planning, and it's a bit where I think of it as a sort of pause point in the week. So let's sort of, stop the chaos for a moment, stop the merry-go-round, and taking half an hour out of your week. Friday afternoon, great time for this, or Friday morning if Friday afternoon is a bit of it doesn't happen. I have lots of clients that aspire to do things on Friday afternoons, and it's very difficult to make yourself do it. But Friday morning, do a bit of planning for the week. So look back at the week that's gone, see how it's gone, look forward to the next week, look at what the kind of shape of your week is, set yourself some goals. As you said, what are those 4 things that I must do this week? And I think having that pause point is really, really useful. I've got a free guide actually to weekly planning on my website, so go to
brilliant. And what's the website's URL?
The website is godoproductivity.co.uk.
godoproductivity.co.uk. So you've got a free guide there, everybody, to this. I'm just going to read out some comments because they're coming through thick and fast. So if I don't tell you them now, we won't get to them. Lots of hellos to you, by the way, and excitement from the community. Sparkle's Eco Shop is writing this all down, and I love to have 1 goal per day. And if I don't make sure I do them by the end of the week, I'm making sure she does them by the end of the week. Kashmir Duck 1, I'm making notes. I need this in my life. Bonnie Bling, I literally just found myself making Chris Pine memes instead of planning my next collection. And exactly because of what you were just saying, too much going on and so hard to focus. Calm lettering, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. I think that's amazing. Rocking Felter, slow and steady wins the race. Just one swaps, I just resigned myself to no life. I just resigned myself to no life, but I think you're right. I need to look at what I want it to be instead of work, work, work. And Sketchy Mama, love your autumn fashion, Holly vibe. I tried to plan do you see my orange autumnal feel I got there? I thank you, Sketchy Mama, for noticing. Currently with my new fluoro pens doing my accounts and spreadsheets. I also need to get on the balcony of the balconies, trying to do accounts, new designs, write a book, paint a landscape, cook a casserole, all before the school run. I mean, that makes me laugh. And Sunshine's Magazine, good morning, you. I hope you slept well after our chat yesterday. When I worked in a busy office, I used to do my big writing projects at home. I needed no distractions to hit my stride. And that's what I call the Nemo flow. The film Nemo. I always talk about getting into your flow, and that's what you're talking about, isn't it? That deep work when you're in your flow. I have a total playlist on YouTube for my music. My husband comes in and he says, if I've heard that one piece of music for 7 years, and I'm like, I can't write without hearing that tune. So it's all these things that you can put in place, isn't it, to pull yourself into that deep work headspace.
Exactly. That's a great example, building up those associations. So trying to work in the same place, putting some music on. I know people that light a candle when they're doing their deep work, all stuff that reminds your brain, hey, I'm here to do some concentrated work.
Yes, absolutely. And I am going to go on about this, but this is for another time. And I have not got shares in this company, and I'm just putting this down here. I have joined the mushroom revolution. And the team are going to laugh because they're going to think I'm going to go into my mushroom rant. But I am taking lion mane tea, and it has changed my frigging life. It is designed for focus and concentration. So for anyone, head over to Dirt Tea, and they have lion mane tea. I'm on day 20 and I've completely noticed a difference, and it's all about focusing in. But that's my mushroom revolution announcement. I'll keep it for another day. Karen, what's tip 4?
Okay, so tip 4 is about using your diary for more than just your meetings. We've got into this where our diary is just about commitments that we've made to talk to other people. Actually, that means that our diary does not show what we want to get done in a week. So I'm all for blocking out time in your diary to do specific things. So know when you want to do this deep work, and plan when you do your weekly planning exactly what you're going to do in those sessions.
That's such a good thing. So, and another thing, maybe this will add to what you've just said, is I have a color in my diary. So for instance, yellow is my holly&co time. Green is when I'm live. I'm going to be doing talks or a live, or I'm at Top Draw, for instance, next week. That's green. And then I have a pinky color for personal. So very, very quickly I can look, and in that yellow time, I will write, I'm going to write my emails there. This is where I'm going to write my social posts. This is what I'm going to do. And it really helps. As you said, so many people use the diary for everybody else, almost using my time for external things.
Yep.
Do you think that's one of the game changers in making sure your time is not for others, but actually for what you want to do?
Yeah, I think it's part of sort of claiming back control for your own priorities. And I love a bit of colour coding. Always helps when you've got a bit of colour coding. Makes your diary a place you want to be as well, if it's a bit of fun, as we've been talking about. But yeah, I think it's really important. And I think having the confidence to say no to some things as well. If we take the time to be really clear on our priorities, we can use the time in our diary for those. Block it out, say no to meetings, push them back. Definitely push them out of your focus time, your deep work time, because that is precious time to be protected.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I think we need to just have a little moment to say there's climatization between deep work and what did you call it? Deep work and
shallow work.
Shallow work is that, I can go and do something. So let's say on Monday, I think I am. Bear in mind, I can't work out what day of the week it is. So sorry, everyone. Monday, I'm at Top Draw. That will be my adrenaline will be up high on that side. That's green in my diary. I will not put content writing, for instance, after that, because I know that my body makeup is incorrect for that deep work. And I think that's some of the things, if you've got I don't know, your kids are doing a school play and you've got to race from one meeting to another, and you've got to get there, you've got to come back. Don't try and then do the spreadsheets at that point in time. It's knowing yourself, isn't it? I think that's also about efficiency.
Exactly. It's different for everybody. Everyone is different. Some people will get energy from spending time with people that they want to then go and use on some focused work. Other people will need 3 hours uninterrupted to do anything. I think this is about knowing yourself and really feeling empowered to do what you need to do. And I think you talked a bit about having a team. If you've got a team, then this is about encouraging everyone to think about what they personally need and finding a way to work together that caters for that.
Brilliant. Now, your 5th tip, what would it be?
So my 5th tip is about the kind of fundamentals of getting organised, because we've talked about how overwhelming it can be when we've got emails and messages and all sorts of things, the kind of busy nature of work. The way to sort of calm that down is to get yourself organised into a good to-do list. You can't underestimate the value of a to-do list, and I like to call them a to-do list system, because I think we need to have one place where we put everything that we need to do. So if you're out there and you're feeling overwhelmed, you've got emails here and messages here and things in your head, I'd encourage you to get it all down into one place so that you can organise it and prioritise it.
And that's where I shout out to Hello Time Planner, who's a small business, and she has a beautiful, if you want a beautiful hand, you know, not in a computer, is actually tactile, proper notebook, which is designed beautifully. Hello, Time. I'm just going to shout out to her. But actually, I also think this is great, but lately I will find myself having, you know, it all sorted. You know, I am on it, like, you know, I've got this designed list, I'm crossing things off, and there we go. This week, I'm turning up to meetings with 4 pieces of A4 paper that I've scribbled on, a little A5 piece of paper, a couple of post-it notes, my notebook, the place that last week was so efficient for me. And I sit down in a meeting, I'm like, what has happened? What has happened? I've lost my groove. I've lost my system. What's that all about?
Well, there's 2 things here. I think the first thing is that getting into this rhythm of always doing your weekly planning sets you up for the week. That's what helps you to always be in the place that you want to be. But the second thing is that we're not aiming for perfection here. It's okay to have a week where you feel a bit more scattered. What's important, I think, is that you've got the habits and the systems and that you find your way back to. You know, so for you, week might have felt really uncomfortable. Well, that's a good thing, because that's what will mean come Friday, you might think, oh, hey, I need to do some weekly planning. Let's get my track for next week. We're not aiming to be perfect. That's unsustainable. We're aiming to sort of waver in and out, but always tend back to being organized and being
coming home to the place that actually, you know, it's a little bit like, you know, on when you're looking after your body and you're looking to be healthy, what they say, isn't it? It's completely lifestyle change. It's a complete journey. There's no destination. This isn't a diet. This isn't that thing. And that's what you're almost saying the same, isn't it? You can then have your bad days, bad week for me, but ultimately I know I'm going to be coming back to a place where I want to be in control and in a place that I've designed that works for me.
Exactly. And it never helps to beat ourselves up about this. I'm just thinking back to the comment before I came on about how when sales are low and you need to be more productive, it's really hard to be. This is all about mindset and confidence and how we feel about ourselves. So it's never going to be a good idea to beat ourselves up because we've had a bad week. It's always going to be a good idea to take note and then sort of step forward into the next week positively. That's always the best plan.
I think so. And I think brilliant for you to remind us of that comment, because actually I also think potentially it's been quite a stressful week here at Holly & Co. I think actually my planning has gone out the window. It's almost like a symbol of how I was feeling internally. And I think that that's something also to look out for. It's when you're starting to maybe eat all the things you don't want to eat. What is that? That's emotional eating. What's going on about it? And so that's a really interesting way of looking at it. Let me read out some more comments. British Craft House, love that. Stop the chaos. I'm going to try that tomorrow. Elise Button Box, that's so true about finding the best parts of your day. You are most productive. I find I paint best during the evenings when there's no pressures or no little ones around. Lots of people ordering their tea. Oh, I'm very, very glad, everyone. And if they're out of stock, by the way, that's because their sales have gone up tenfold. Just so you know, I'm right in with the mushroom team. Petra Burrs saying, bring a flash of mushroom tea to top drawer, please. Bring a flask, sorry, of mushroom tea to top drawer. Petra, I'm on it. I will promise you to bring you some mushroom tea. You have to get used to the taste. That's all I'm going to say. Lillian May Studio, thank you so much for sharing all these amazing pieces of information. So wonderful of you guys to share this. And thank you, Karen. Popsy Clunk, I found exercise first thing in the morning gives me so much more focus in the day. I've got back into running after 8 months off. Well done, you. Kerry Dilk's illustration, love starting the day with exercise too. Wouldn't you love one? So important to know your own body and how it fits actually into your daily routine. Thimble and fabric, I use a tip you gave once all the time, Holly. Getting the post-it notes out. Write a task on each one, then do the one I want to do least first. Yes, eat your vegetables first, as I keep saying to Harry, even though he's nearly 18. And Kind and Conscious UK, yes, I had a very quiet day yesterday, but today is a different day. I had a shop move, rewritten my list, and off I go again. It's just a brilliant thing, isn't it? That we're, I don't know, we're getting to know ourselves better. Tell me, out of your time in doing this, it must be very satisfying, because you must get people back into their grooves, you know, and feeling the most them productively, but maybe also just not for work, but the productivity of their lives as well. Do you think that that's the important thing for us founders who run their own businesses, is to, we don't believe in work-life balance here, but we believe in a whole life, which can cause havoc when you're trying to structure things? What would you say for founders?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's really hard when you're a founder, you're running your own business, you want to succeed, you want to put all that time in. But we do have to find ways to achieve the other things in our life. So when I'm talking to people about sort of zooming out, what do you want to achieve? What do you want? We can't do that just with a business head on. We have to do it with a personal head on as well. And often we have to involve other people in our lives, because that's the only way we're going to really create that holistic approach that really is what is going to help us to succeed. Because lots of comments from people saying that exercise helps them, or, you know, other things help them. You can't separate the two here at all. Absolutely. And yeah, I do get lots of people coming to me to work with me who are just have this feeling of overwhelm in all of their life. It's rare that they manage to contain it just into the business or into work. So I'm often doing work about, well, how do we get that more into a balance, or more into the place that you want it to be, and that's about how are we productive at work, but it's also about how do we approach the rest of our lives. You know, I don't think we should do ourselves short by not applying some of this in our personal lives as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So everyone can find you. Just read out the URL again where we can get a free
yeah, www.godoproductivity.co.uk. Lots of free resources on there. I've got blogs, I've got various different free bits. Yeah, and always happy to chat to people as well.
Oh, fantastic. I think you might be inundated. Thank you so much for your time. You've been so generous with all of your tips, and the community have absolutely loved it. So take care, and thank you so much.
Take care. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye. What we got yes, we've got so many comments, if I'm honest with you. This has touched all of our hearts, hasn't it? Because ultimately we've only got the amount of time that we've got to get a shitload of stuff done, and actually, how do we do it? And it's this community as ever, giving each other the tips and everything like that. I'm going to talk to you about mushrooms another day. It's Dirt Tea, by the way, if you want to go and check it out. But I am doing a bit of an experiment, 30-day experiment. I'm on day 20, so I'll let you know more about that. Now, if you haven't listened to my light bulb moment, head over to my podcast, Conversations of Inspiration, where I use Wilfred Emmanuel Jones's phenomenal thought about how running your business or going after your dreams is like falling in love, and I use that because that has stayed with me forever, and I really reflect on the secrets of entrepreneurism, what I believe to be the soul of keeping going every day and striving. So that, head over to my light bulb moments on Conversations of Inspiration. It's only 14 minutes long, and for everybody, keep strong. Okay, we've got Friday. I'm going to do I'm actually going to an amazing thing tomorrow. I'm going to, Jay Blades is getting an honorary degree tomorrow, and he's invited myself over there. So I'm going to spend tomorrow morning watching the amazing Jay Blades getting this this wonderful recognition for all he has done, and I'm super proud of him. And I definitely am going to bring my tissues. You know, I was about to say Cilla Black's hat. I'm not going to wear a hat, but I'm definitely, and they've talked about, you can wear your badges and your awards. And, you know, people are saying, are you going to wear your MBE? I was like, no. Anyone who wears their MBE out in public is a certain type of person, but I do have some embroidered medals. And I thought I was going to wear my embroidered medals, and let's hope no one thinks I'm a a veteran or something like that. That would be quite embarrassing. There you go. I am going to let you, I don't know if I can take pictures tomorrow, but I might try a sneaky one. I'll certainly show you my medals that I'm going to pin onto me myself. But thank you very much for joining. This has been the Holly's Business Pharmacy, and it is thanks to Dell Technologies. We will be back with SME SOS next week. I'll keep you posted when that will be. And thank you very much also for your recommendations on glasses frames from small businesses. If you have anyone that you know, do send them to me, because I'm in great need. Lots of love.